Hello everyone, welcome to this November and December edition of This Month in Flag News. I'm Vexillographer, and our first story today is all about the 2018 Winter Olympic Games, this year to be held in Pyeongchang, South Korea. The Winter Olympics are amazing. Remember last time, 2014 in Sochi, Russia? Man, look at those medal tables. The Russian athletes really brought their A game. They were there to win. They were amazing. They did a great job. It was like they were Olympic athletes on steroids or something. Well, it turns out they were actually on steroids. According to a recent report, the IOC has discovered that many Russian athletes, with the assistance of their National Olympic Committee and with the assistance of the Russian government, were cheating using banned substances that are performance-enhancing drugs. So, 25 Olympic athletes from Russia have been banned for life by the IOC from the Olympic Games. So what does this mean for 2018, and what does this have to do with flags? Well, not only have these athletes been banned for life, another thing is that many of these athletes who were caught doping and cheating have had their medals from 2014 in Sochi taken away and invalidated. So congratulations, Norway, you were apparently the winner at Sochi this whole time. But number 3 is probably the most serious disciplinary action in Olympic history. Not only will the Russian Olympic Committee be prohibited from sending athletes to the Games, athletes can still come from Russia, but they have to prove to the IOC that they're clean. But the big thing is that the Russian flag can't be used at the Olympics. These athletes from Russia who are approved to compete, they will not be allowed to compete under the Russian flag or enter the Parade of Nations under the Russian flag. They will have to use a neutral Olympic flag, and they can't even put the Russian flag colors on their uniforms. And there will be no Russian national anthem at any of the medal ceremonies. So this is very unfortunate that these cheaters have basically deprived their honest teammates of the chance to walk into a stadium under their nation's flag. And it's very unfortunate that this has happened. But hopefully this was the right decision by the IOC. Hopefully this will show the cheaters that doping is never dope. Next, we have an update from the city of Burlington in the United States state of Vermont. You may recall from our previous episode that the city of Burlington, Vermont was having a city flag design contest, hoping to replace this thing. Thankfully they did. The people of Burlington voted for this as the winner of the flag design contest. I think it's pretty cool, and there's a lot of symbolism in it. It was designed by these two local brothers from Burlington named Lucas and Owen Marchessault, I don't know. The point is, these Martian brothers put some great symbolism into their design. The blue represents the sky as well as the lake shore of Lake Champlain. The white represents the snow-capped mountains as well as the city's breakwater. And the green represents the state's nickname, the Green Mountain State. And this really cool zig-zag flag, designed by the Marching Band Brothers, was officially raised for the first time at the Church Street Marketplace during First Night, which is Burlington's annual New Year's Eve celebrations, where there's lots of cool stuff going on all over the city. And this flag-raising ceremony was going on at a really good time slot, 4:00 p.m., New Year's Eve. Do you know how many amazing acts are going on at the same time all over Burlington? This flag-raising ceremony went straight up against amazing acts like Stephen Kiernan's large guitars. I don't care how large those guitars are, I would still go to the flag-raising ceremony. This flag that the Marshmallow Brothers designed is awesome. They not only won their family an actual flag of their design, they actually won $250. According to their mother, the boys haven't decided what they'll do with it yet. I have a suggestion. Go treat yourselves. You got the city of Burlington to go from this to this. You deserve it, okay? Go buy some tickets to an awesome concert, like Stephen Kiernan's large guitars. Our next story comes from another U.S. state. They're having a bit of trouble with their state flag lately. According to a recent poll, only 49% of the state's residents approve of the state flag. Another 10% are undecided about it, and 41% disapprove of it. What could be so bad about this state flag? Ladies and gentlemen, the flag of Mississippi, adopted in 1894. Man. Okay. If 30% of your state's population happens to be black, maybe you shouldn't have the emblem of team slavery in your state flag. You might not want to do that. There are a lot of negative stereotypes about Mississippi out there. And this thing is not helping. And a lot of Mississippians are aware of this. There are tons of Mississippians right now campaigning in lots of different ways, in lots of different arenas in the state to try to get this thing fixed. Every single public university in Mississippi has taken it down. Most of the major cities of Mississippi, including the capital city of Jackson, as well as Natchez, and most recently Cleveland on November 7th, have taken it down. Recently, on November 26th, the mayor of Gulfport, Mississippi, has tried to get people used to other designs. So he put up a lot of historical Mississippi flags in addition to the current 1894 one, trying to get people used to the idea of another flag, because sooner or later it's gotta happen. The Speaker of the House of the Mississippi Legislature has publicly called for this flag to be fixed. The governor of Mississippi has publicly called for another referendum to vote on the state flag to take place. There are a lot of Mississippians out there trying to get this fixed through the official government way. A lot of county governments have taken this flag down from their county buildings, etc., etc. But more recently, and this is the interesting part I want to talk about, a new unofficial route has been proposed. This organization is called the Stennis Flag Flyers. It went public on November 28th. This is the Stennis flag of Mississippi. It was designed by a Mississippian vexillologist about a couple years ago, and it's been getting pretty popular lately. It's been showing up at protests, it's been showing up at marches, but people are also flying it in their homes. It's becoming pretty popular. And unlike the current state flag, the Stennis flag actually has something to do with Mississippi in particular. The 20 stars represent the fact that Mississippi was the 20th state to enter the Union. The central star in the middle not only is a reference to the indigenous nations of the area, but also is a reference to one of Mississippi's earliest historical flags, the Bonnie Blue flag. So the Stennis Flag Flyers are hoping that this cool design will get so popular among Mississippian people that eventually the government will take notice and go, hey, this is a flag everyone can use without shame. Let's adopt this one. Because people are already using it in their houses and businesses, etc. Let's do it. And this cool looking design is actually so popular that you can actually now buy it online for a fairly reasonable price. I'm kind of a fan of the Stennis flag. It's simple, it's symmetrical, it's symbolic, it looks unique compared to other state flags, and most importantly, everyone in Mississippi can use it. Duh. This is a really fascinating story. It's a very bitter, difficult discussion sometimes, but it needs to be had, and Mississippians are rising up to the challenge. Some of them are going the official route with governments and votes and that kind of thing. Others, like the Stennis Flag Flyers, check out their website, by the way, some of them are going the unofficial route, trying to get an alternate design popular to, hopefully one day become the state flag. I don't know if this will be the solution, but it might be. It's a nice looking flag, it's a nice looking design, but however it works out. Mississippians, I am rooting for you. You guys have a cool state, I think, and you deserve a flag that everyone can use. Hang in there and keep it up. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Anyway, let's move on to our final story. And our final story tonight comes from the South Asian country of Bangladesh. Now, Bangladesh, in its government, has a Ministry of Education. And on December 18th, to celebrate that country's Victory Day, the Ministry of Education hosted a big party. And they invited to this party their boss, Education Minister Nurul Islam Nahid. This guy, according to the article, is known in general as a vivacious and lighthearted guy. Just look at him in this clip here. Come on, can you imagine that guy getting mad? He seems like a super chill guy. He seems like the kind of guy you would invite to a party. So they did. And they surprised him at the party with a cake that had the flag of Bangladesh on it. Isn't that nice? They're surprising their boss with a nice little cake. How could that possibly go wrong? Well, allow me to read some excerpts from this article that I found on the Dhaka Tribune. It is amazing. Here we go. The Ministry of Education had grand plans for a Victory Day celebration on Monday. The zeal of the planners manifested in the form of a cake in the design of the national flag. The Directorate of Secondary and Higher Education, DSHE, planned the event at the International Mother Language Institute, inviting hundreds of guests from many institutions and government offices. Everything was proceeding amiably until the Education Ministry and DSHE officials brought out a large cake looking like the national flag. The usually vivacious and light-hearted minister exploded in a fit of rage, shouting, "Are you asking me to cut up something that depicts the national flag? Are you asking me to cut up the national flag? Senior officials quickly realized their plan was going downhill and tried to shift blame, all the while continuing to aggravate the minister's wrath. Whose idea was this? Who ordered the cake? Whoever is involved with this is going to pay, the minister warned as he stormed out of the event. According to several ministry officials who witnessed the outrage, the cake was the idea of an overeager deputy director who frequently flaunts his power. A number of ministry officials have singled out Kamal, saying it was most likely his idea to surprise the minister with the cake. One ministry official said Kamal was on the stage with the minister when the cake arrived. When Kamal was contacted, he denied any involvement with the cake. While he admitted to being on the stage, he said he knew nothing about the cake. Kamal also said that DSHE director Abdul Manan was personally overseeing the catering at the event, who was also present on stage when the cake arrived. When Abdul Manan was contacted, he too denied all involvement. I'm completely new here. I've been preoccupied for over a week with exams. I was made the head of the committee on catering based on precedents, but I have no idea what happened. The entire event was orchestrated by junior officers. I was at the event on Monday to speak to the Director General, but left soon after. I did not know about the cake until Tuesday. But he promised to look into the matter. Education Ministry Secretary Mohiuddin Khan said additional Secretary Aminul Islam has been tasked to find out who was behind the cake. Mohiuddin said the event may have been the ministry's to organize, but the DSHE was in overall control of the execution. But repeated attempts to contact Aminul have failed. His assistant said he was not at the office, and he did not respond to any phone calls. Wow. Okay, that was an amazing story. Okay, Mr. Nahid, is it? You are the Minister of Education of Bangladesh. I'm guessing you are smart enough to know the difference between a symbol and the thing it represents. If you eat a piece of cake with a flag on it, you're not actually eating your country. There's a difference here. You really freaked out your employees, Mr. Nahid. Your employees were trying to surprise you with a nice little dessert. Thank you. Thank you. Like this. They just wanted to surprise you with a nice little dessert with a little fun picture on it, like with the national flag. You're not actually eating Bangladesh. There's a difference, okay? You don't need to freak out on your employees for something like that. They just made a little dessert with with some fun colors on it. That's all. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining me on this November and December edition of This Month in Flag News. I'm Vexillographer. Whose idea was this? Whose idea was this? You think I'm gonna eat my own channel? You think I'm gonna eat my own channel? Did you bring these? Did you bring these? You think I'm gonna... Was it the camera guy? Was it you, camera guy? Do you think I'm gonna eat my own channel? You think I'm gonna eat my own subscribers? You idiot!